let's dive into this one, shall we? So we've got Temur Alliance. Temur, for those not familiar, refers to the color combination of blue, red, and green. Alliance here is Improbable Alliance. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying. Twin to win. Thank you for the year and a half. I appreciate that. Welcome back. We also have Irencrag Pyromancer here as an 0/4. This is when you draw your second card in a turn, deal 3 damage to any target. And then we have a few different ways for this deck to draw extra cards each turn. We've got Royal Scions, which provides a constant flow of additional cards. We've got Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, which once escaped provides a constant flow of additional cards. Growth Spiral, Opt, and Omen of the Sea provide 1-shot additional draw. Kenrith's Transformation provides an additional draw. And then Citizen Champion. We have a number of enchantments in this deck. This draws cards when an enchantment comes into play with it. Autumn's Veil was only registered 138 times in MTGA Top 8 system. 89 of those times were in Standard, and 4 of them were interactive hallmarks such as Red, Green, Valakut, and Infect. Yeah, wow. That's interesting, Zach. It's amazing. It's amazing what stapling draw a card onto something does, right? Makes it a lot better. Huh? I feel like this is a mulligan. The man is awkward and doesn't have any of our payoffs. This seems fine. We'll shock this in so we can opt and try and find a alliance for next turn. Omen of the Forge here deals 2 damage to any target when it comes into play, and then it sacks to scry 2. We're playing this instead of Bonecrusher Giant because of its synergy with Citizen Champion. Uncertain if Champion's going to be worth its weight here. Perfect. Yeah, that's true too. Autumn's Veil isn't just Veil of Summer minus the card draw. It's actually worse, even worse than that. Yeah.
Those who cannot perceive beyond the veil of reality are lost.
Oh, Magic 2020 chat. Magic in 2020 chat. Magic in 2020. Are we playing Magic or are we trying to fight our way out of a prison cell? I forgot to put fries in my sideboard. All right, we'll put some fries in my sideboard. I got it. We'll put fries in my sideboard. Can we just delete War of the Spark, please? It's just so rancid. Can we please delete War of the Spark? Yeah, Magic in 2020 is just you experiencing all of the play mistakes from 2019 because they still haven't banned most of them. They're all still legal for some reason. Rotate it early. Yeah, what if we just left it in non-rotating formats? No, I don't even think that's true. I hate the set non-rotating formats too. Let's just get rid of it. Please and thank you, just get rid of it. Are we about to have Temur deck problems? Like, I feel like this Ajani's Pride Mate is about to like stuff us in a box. Okay, I mean, like... Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. We can just jump it forever. That's fair. It's so loud. Turn your volume down. Champion can outgrow a Johnny's Primate. What? What are you smoking? To the person who I just timed out, who suggested I needed to kill the Pride Mate, I would encourage you to read my cards. There's a deck list on the screen. I need to send some bolts upstairs at some point here, because ideally we want to keep their life total under 35, so that way they can't randomly, Johnny us. Really? Okay. I mean, I guess we're just gonna jump forever, huh? Right, fair. This isn't the matchup we just put Fry in our sideboard for, but definitely comes in here, huh? Okay, what am I trimming here for the Fries? Growth Spiral's kind of just filler. I think they scooped because we were gonna get to block endlessly. That's true, Marty. If they're bringing in like Banishing Light or Glass Casket, Return to Nature could be okay. I feel like this poll is too good to be true. I follow a couple of polling things on Twitter, and one of them just tweeted that their projections for who's going to win primaries in which state has Biden winning in 2 states and Sanders winning in all the rest. So, yeah, here's hoping they're all feeling the burn, huh? That would be pretty great. I think I'm going to bottom Kenrith here. And keep these, just like wait for this can kill a Pride Mate, and then like these just need a payoff. Back again. Thank you for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Or welcome to Hoaglandia. It's a new sub. I don't think I need another green in the dark here. I think I'm gonna go Mountain Pass here. Because if I play the Alliance post-champion, that'll trigger it.
I am here to aid in the assault. I believe in you, friend.
I agree, Marty. Don't talk about How do you reassure nervous Dems about his electability? Electability's bullshit. Electability's corporate speak for the status quo is good for people that control your media. Ignore them. I heard a metaphor the other day that really resonated with me, and I think it's super true. It was, if you ask for a whole cake, you might get a slice. If you only ask for a slice, you're gonna end up with crumbs. And that was in reference to how politics tends to work. And basically, if we start with more centrist candidates who aren't promising much, who are then gonna compromise with where they're starting from, with what they've promised, you're not gonna get a whole lot. But even if someone like Bernie has to compromise what he wants to do to get some things actually done, a lot will still get done. Yeah, overtone window is important. Shoot for the stars and you'll reach the moon. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, the fact that Trump won 2016 just takes all electability arguments and throws them out the window. By every reasonable, measurable metric, Trump is unelectable. But we know what happened, right? No. Electability is thinly veiled racism and sexism and other types of discrimination that mean you're not electable if you're not straight, white, male, and Christian. That's what electability means. It's thinly veiled discrimination. That's what that's referring to. That's electability. Catholics are Christians. Not all Christians are Catholics, but all Catholics are Christians. It's like squares and rectangles, chat. Frogs and toads, yep. Alright, so what am I doing here? Is it just Uro to start gaining some life? I think I want to wait to deploy the champion till I can play an enchantment right after it. Hopefully this finds another land, and I can go like land here, and then we can go champion plus an enchantment next turn. Can you explain why this has to be a bad matchup for us, Terran Terror? We have a good bit of cheap interaction, and we have some life gain, and we have cards that kill them in a relatively quick manner. So can you go into more details about why you think it's bad, other than the fact that, like, I'm sitting here missing land drops? Can they beat a resolved Uro? Yeah, they can just cast Embercleave and kill you the turn you cast it. You like ignoring the fact that like our cards interact with them though? Is that your plan? Just ignore that we interact with them? Like I agree if we were doing like nothing that impacted the board, I would agree with you, but like a bunch of our cards that help us get set up are yeah, the concept of electability pocket semids is talking about how people are racist and bigots. Like that's what it is. Like saying that is like what you're saying is that like you think people are bigots. I mean, a lot of people are. You see the video clip going around of the woman who didn't know Buttigieg was gay and wanted to change her vote after she found out? Just like people are. It's like as much as like I cut so many toxic people out of my circles that it can sometimes be tough pill to swallow that like still in 2020 there's people out there that are still like that. It's unreal and it's frustrating. All right, so I think Growth Spiral is mostly filler. Definitely want Redcap and Aether Gust. I don't know. Return to Nature is actually probably good enough because it kills Annex and it kills Annex and it kills Cleave. Maybe Champion's just too slow. I'm gonna trim Champion and Omen. Let's try this. Is this going down too many of my cards that draw a second card per turn? It might be. I don't know. It's weird that someone who was a homophobe was voting in the Dem primary. Well, if you think about it, it's less weird that they were voting for a centrist, right? Like, there's almost certainly a correlation between people who are hateful like that and don't want to be progressive. There's probably a lot of overlap on that Venn diagram. Want to kill this now, just in case they're missing their second land drop so they can't light up the stage here. Why isn't this a mulligan? It's got plenty of spells that seem reasonable. It's got an Uro in it. Like, what do my faster hands look like? Like, not every hand I can have is going to have interaction on 2 in this deck. Here's the thing, Sega, and this is something that I feel like I'm going to say a lot this cycle, is that you don't cast a vote because you're trying to win a game. Like, this isn't a game, this is people's lives. Don't try and metagame your politics. Don't make a decision for you personally based on what you think some other people are gonna do. Don't not vote for Bernie even though you like his policies because you're worried about electability or other nonsense. Vote for the candidate that represents the ideas that you want. And if you're someone that wants people to not go broke because they can't afford healthcare, Bernie is the candidate for you. He has the most aggressive policies regarding that. If you think it is morally reprehensible that we allow people to go bankrupt in this country because their family member got sick, vote for Bernie Sanders. This deck doesn't have Rampage of the Clans, but that honestly sounds adorable. Up to 3 cards in the bin. These cards are a little bit awkward with Uro, just because they don't put cards in my discard pile. Thanks for the 5 months, Alran. I appreciate the Prime support. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. That's not bad. I think I'm going to ditch the transformation for now. It's unfortunate I don't have a third land to sack these. Although next turn, this is going to put something in my bin and I'll get to bring Uro back, so that's nice. From my understanding, Bernie won the popular vote in Iowa. However, due to how the caucus distributes things, I think he won the same number of delegates as Buttigieg. Feel free to link a source if that's incorrect. I believe that's what happened. That is 100% correct. Okay. You won about 3,000 more popular votes. Excellent. And that honestly speaks volumes because, like, white farmers is largely what Iowa is. That should be Buttigieg's biggest base. So, like, if he got the same delegates from a place like that, it's a good thing for Bernie moving forward. Alright, so this game is over. Attack with my Titan. Lightning bolts your Phoenix. Swish, chat, swish. Oh yeah, 6 of you. Game 3, something like that. You do some other stuff. Do some other stuff. Bernie has 1 fewer delegate than Buttigieg currently, sure. The total number of delegates overall from Iowa is low. I think I'm happy with how I boarded. Maybe Kenrith's transformation shouldn't be in my deck and I should just like have the extra Omen. That's probably true. Just leave those in. Hey, Moonin, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Thanks for keeping me around. I think this hand is keepable. I think I like keep this. We fetch an island and we go from there. One of the nice things about this hand is that with all of these instant sorts and these 2 Fabled Passages, if we draw an Uro, we get to escape it back relatively quickly. I think we just cap this and then play an op tier is probably the line. Huh? Do I just cap that one? I kind of like that. I think I'm going to cap the robber and then probably Gust this teamkin in a second. Light up the stage here. Light them up. They're on fire. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Do, 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 do. Uro is exactly what we're looking for here. I think I want to Aether Gust this turn, though. Fantastic. And then with that Omen of the Forge on top of my deck here, next turn, this lets me play 2 lands. So I get to Gust the Steamkin here. That's unfortunate. I don't really want to Gust this. I'm going to lose the Omen of the Forge, though. Still playing any Mythgard off stream? I haven't. There's an RPG game called Raid Shadow Legends that I've been playing a bunch of. I kind of took over my off-stream time. My mobile game time. I don't really play games on the computer off stream. Pretty much any games I play are mobile. Well, that's a phenomenal draw. After I stream all day, I usually don't want to sit in front of the computer anymore, but I do like playing games. Oh, we totally can Aether Gust though, man. That's funny. Why did you introduce me to that highly addictive and rewarding game? If you're someone that likes making numbers bigger, Raid is great. Yeah, the grinding specific gear types takes a while. Those missions were kind of silly. That's annoying. The auto button is good once you get it figured out. Oh no! Oh no! They're gonna return to nature my Uro. I have Gust. I can Gust this, right? Definitely Gusting. Return to nature. I think I want to put this on the bottom, right? I don't really want to redraw that. Huh? Yeah, I totally just escaped this to start, right? It's kind of appealing to, like, do this, but yeah, we're definitely just Uroing. I think I just say no blocks here because this is just like so valuable if it lives. Yeah, wow, are we gonna win here? I think we're gonna win this game, huh? Sick. All right, go to 9 here. Oh, oh, we get to double Omen on their turn. That's phenomenal. Yep, and for that one. Mmm, tasty. Tasty, tasty. Goodbye, Felicia. I know I could exile the Phoenix with return. We don't lose our time. 2 Omen of the Seas, dude. Got 2 Omen of the Seas. Well, that's rude. Well, that's rude. It's also fine though, right? No, we just get to draw it. It doesn't matter if we kill the robber, we just get to draw the card. Okay, this is lethal, right? They're dead. Royal Scions kill you.
Our bond was forged in battle. And many. With the heart behind every attack.
We get an Omen in response to kill the Phoenix. No, Wadagus. Pyromancer only triggers when you draw a second card. So we have to play both Omens and have them both resolve with the Pyromancer in play. Liam's, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate you shipping that this way this month and keeping me employed. Welcome, welcome. I think Growth Spiral might be some nonsense in this deck. Is that possible? What do we think, chat? Should that card be something else? I guess it fills the bin for Uro. Yeah, it fills the bin for Uro. And, like, our deck's not really ramping to anything. Happy Friday, thanks. Oh, God. We're about to get flash chat. Opt. Improbable Alliance, sure. I like that thought, actually, Marty. Thrill of Possibility could be okay. I think that could be reasonable. They're just gonna counter all of our second card draws from here. Oh, the draw 3, discard 2. Yeah, that could be it. The new enchantment one. That card's sick. That's like a super playable card. I like that idea a lot. Cause it works with it works well with enchantments too, right? Yeah, Thirst for Meaning, is that it? That sounds right. Yeah, it just like kind of does everything we're interested in doing. Alright, who's got 2 thumbs instead to cleave? This guy right here. Instead of me telling you you're wrong, can you tell me why you're right? Why do you think 3 is too expensive? Runtime Command, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. Think we're dead here. Feeling pretty dead. I don't know. Maybe their hand's all blanks, chat. Yeah, it looks real good. Alright, Dispute sounds great. Fry sounds great. Growth Spiral is filler. Growth Spiral makes sideboarding easy. I think I'm supposed to cut Champion here. I think... Yeah, I like the idea of the enchantment draw card. Maybe not 4 of them, but some number seems real reasonable. A while ago, D9 was talking about your decks. I've been watching your YouTube, but I really wanted to support someone who wasn't afraid to be a progressive political supporter on the internet. Thanks, Runtime. I appreciate that. Good to have you here in Hoaglandia, and thanks for the feedback as to why. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, Thrill could be okay too. We could split the difference on those. Try a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Yeah, Buccaneer's kind of slow and clunky though. I think I keep both of these. Let's see, is 0% to resolve? One of the nice things about the 3-mana card is that it would enable us to easily trigger our draw 2s on the opponent's turn, since it's a single card that draws 2. I'm not really sure that the enchantment sub-theme this deck has going on is worthwhile. The citizen champion style idea, basically. Faithless looting? Something like that. I mean, looting doesn't work on their turn, right? So, like, looting's, like, kind of just the same as, like, a card that just draws 1 extra card in this archetype. Sure. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, that's where we want to be, Drunk Owl. Like, just is it draw 2 with Uro? Just splash the Busted Green card. So I'm saying what makes this deck good is powerful individual cards and not cute synergies. I'm saying you should, if you want to play synergies, your synergies will be better if your synergistic cards are individually good. Yeah, Growth Spiral's pretty whatever. I could take or leave Growth Spiral. It's like filler cards that, like, get into your graveyard to make Uro escapable seems fine. Yeah, Thrill's another card someone mentioned. It's potentially fine, although it's worth noting that Thrill's, like, pretty awful in this matchup, right? Like, matches where you're getting counterspelled, it's really pretty bad. This card's a little awkward here, but I feel like we probably want to play this card regardless. Just because, like, in addition to drawing a card, it also lets Irencrag Pyromancer kill basically anything, which is nice. All right, let's try blue-red Uro. Let's try blue-red Uro. Maybe a couple of Kenriths. Let's cut the cute, huge enchantment sub-theme. Thirst for Meaning. That seems fine. Nah, I don't think we want Arclight Phoenix. I don't really feel like I need more threats. I feel like I want my interaction to be better. Having boarded Return to Nature feels good too. Because dying to Embercleave sucks. I cut 4 shocks. I probably want some more interactive stuff at the bottom end of my curve here. It's probably just Bonecrusher, huh? Yeah. Is Rampage of the Clans build around viable? I don't know if it's viable, but I'll definitely take it. Are we in a main deck Aether Gust format? I think with Thirst and Royal Scions, we're in a main deck Aether Gust format. But the last dispute in the board. Let's try this. All right, do we rebrand the deck Oko Alliance? Is that real? Oko Alliance? Is that a better name than Temur Alliance? Hey, remember when I put Aether Gust in my main deck? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Oh, Uro Alliance? Sorry, I messed up. I mixed up the busted green cards that are worth splashing for. There's been so many busted one blue green cards that you're supposed to be splashing for in the last year that, like, I can't keep them straight yet. I apologize. Freudian slip. Yeah, exactly. They're correct. They're like, we've been talking about elks too. Post-traumatic Oko disorder. It's funny because it's sad. Now, if they have a land here, I can't even block. Or they have a Torbrand and I can't even block. Yikes. Can we put Oko back in this format? Is Oko even competitive against these Torbrands? Part of me really wishes we could see what this format would look like in a world where, like, we have Oko, but, like, we don't have Veil and Once. I don't know. I mean, those elks, like, they go really wide, chat. An elk carrying an Embercleave still hits you for 8. God, Field of the Dead? Those cards are probably fine in this format. Which feels a little unreal to say. I feel like there's a strong chance they're fine. Hey, Space Herring, thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. For Rampage of the Clan build around, sounds good. No, it really doesn't. Like, have you people not been playing against these red decks? These red decks pump out such an absurd amount of damage. When have these, like, are folks playing games against red where you're losing by inches? Like, these red decks are not kill you by inches. They kill you by a country mile. Like, Torbrand and Embercleave overkill like no other card printed in recent memory. I don't know if I believe that. Yeah, like they overkill you by a lot. Like a lot. Someone said that Untap.gg had the red deck at like some absurd win rate with a very, very reasonable sample size, which I would kind of believe. Well, so like, and again, people are saying, thank God red aggro's back sarcastically. I actually think red aggro being good is a hallmark of a healthy format. The problem is the current red decks are not aggro decks. They're combo decks. Embercleave and even Torbrand to a degree make these decks play out in a drastically different way than red aggro that I would define as being a hallmark of a healthy format do. They have 2 1-mana spells here. This is embarrassing. They do not. God bless. Not looking for another land. Red aggro wins the mirror 100% of the time. Sounds bannable to me. I don't know, Willem. I don't know if like the old Golos ones that largely ignore you would be competitive or not. Wasn't Frenzy plus Steamkin over a year ago a combo deck too? Kinda. The thing about Experimental Frenzy is I feel like, having played a number of games, this is purely anecdotal, I feel like my ability to win post Frenzy is much higher than my ability to win post Embercleave. Like, the number of games where Embercleave doesn't kill you on the spot are like really few and far between. Onset Nonsense, thanks for the 1.5 years of support. Boo Shoes, thanks for the 13 months. Welcome back. Yes, Frenzy can brick off Embercleave. Frenzy's a higher variance card. I messed up. I should have left up double red here. I could have cast this leaving up double red, and I didn't. Classic WotC print good equipment instantly breaks the format, right? Thanks for the biddies, Herring. Thanks. Alright, so this game is over.
Let us plan for the trials ahead.
It's garbage time. You don't have to go home, but you can't play here. Do 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 do. Yeah, that was the easy game, right? We were on the play that game. Now comes the challenge where we try and win on the draw. I think this is a mulligan. the blue-green decks ended up being able to get run over. I think we have enough payoffs for our drawing extra cards, Quaddle. Feeling pretty dead, man. Need to draw in like an Aether Gust here to have a chance. Yeah, probably should have gone to 5 there. Not having a play till turn 3 just isn't acceptable in the draw. Should have mulliganed more aggressively. I mean, to be fair, White got a lot of good tools in this new set. They just weren't, like, that offensive. Like, Elspeth, I think Elspeth Conqueror's Death is, like, my favorite card in the set. Maybe second favorite, Crocs is up there for me. Like that red-black Titan, he's pretty sweet. What a release-ready animation, chat. Wouldn't you describe that as release-ready? How much to see you build? Memekin and Pioneer missed that craziness. I'd encourage you to go back and watch us play. We've played it before. It's real bad. Too slow and fair. Too slow and fair. Pioneer is a pretty fast and brutal format. Theros made Pioneer more fast and brutal than it was to start. Adding 2 new infinite combos did not do the format any favors in terms of speed. Okay, next turn we get to go. Pyromancer, opt, shoot their Zerta. Questerson. Are we dead? I think we might be dead. Is an Embercleave in my future? Probably. Should we try Vanafear combo and Pioneer? Maybe. I don't know. That's probably also too slow and fair. Should not, yeah. I don't know. You get to play a bunch of Land War Elves that can kill on turn 4. Killing on turn 4 is like in the realm of reasonable. Like, the deck like has a pretty high percentage to kill on 4 if you get to untap with Vanafear. Might be okay. Hey, look, chat. We started main decking Aether Gust, and so far we found all matches where main deck Aether Gust is good. Strange. Strange. How strange. I want a couple of Redcap Melees. I feel like I might. Yeah, honestly, we just said Pioneer is a pretty fast and brutal format. This current standard format also is not slow. While there's definitely like mid-range decks that can try and drag things out and control decks that are playable, a lot of the decks that seem like a lot of the good decks have ways to kill efficiently, it feels like. Even control decks like Temur Reclamation are basically pseudo combo decks, right? Well, okay, so like in WotC's defense, we could still see changes to Pioneer. I think for whatever reason, they didn't want to ban things preemptively. Like, they seem like they don't want to ban things preemptively. They seem like they always want to let things play out. So with the idea of always letting things play out in mind, there is still hope for Pioneer in its current state. I agree. I'm liking this current standard format a lot. I think this current standard format is super reasonable. Describing the format as kind of brutal is not a negative intention. It is just intended to be descriptive. Because it is very fast. Sweet. Things that wasn't. A copy of Domri's Ambush. I don't know. Maybe it's biased from like having played on the ladder in the last day, but I feel like as the format's developed, I was definitely off base about Simic. I also think the decks that Simic beats up on just largely aren't good. Like, I think there's plenty of decks that just like, I feel like the decks that Simic makes unplayable are decks that like would be made unplayable by something else anyways. Yeah, we also don't really know what the competitive outlook of this format is currently. Like, we haven't had any major tournaments in this format. There's been no Grand Prix, no Opens, no nothing. See, I don't, like, this is different strokes for different folks, Savin, but, like, I actually think longer games where players are trading on resources a lot, but they're not overbearing, are some of the best games in Magic. Like, those long game resource exchanges are some of my favorite things to be playing. I probably should have waited to play that till after I looted, huh? Who's got 2 thumbs and dies to questing beast? This guy right here. I'm looking forward to Worlds. Even Worlds won't be that telling. Like, Worlds is a small format tournament, right? It's a tournament with 16 players. So like, that's very different than having series of Opens or as a Grand Prix or whatnot, where metagames can evolve and establish over the course of a few different weeks. It's real obnoxious, Brog. Yeah, all small tournaments tend to have inbred metagames. Of course, the fact that this, I don't think it, and someone else could verify this, is there a standard Grand Prix before Worlds? Or is Worlds the first tournament in this format? The fact that if Worlds is the first tournament in this format, that could change that dynamic a little bit, potentially. So I played the untapped land here because if they play a Narset next turn, I need to thrill in response. Although, if they play a Narset next turn, our deck probably just doesn't work and we should concede, right? Yeah, this build felt a little bit awkward overall. I feel like this deck has had a lot of the same issues that kind of straight blue-red had before. Hey, Cost Wiki, thank you for the 2 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, Aether Gust looking like a blank here, but like at the same time, the reason why I included the main deck Aether Gust is because I have 8 ways to discard them. So like, they're playing Esper, Aether Gust is dead, I'm just gonna thrill it away. Yeah, I kind of agree with that, Wyatt. There's a Jeskai Improbable Alliance deck that's up on my website, and that deck gets to play a bunch of Dream Trawlers at the top end, and like, anyone who's played this standard format who isn't named Croakies knows how busted that card is. Like, it's real good. So, we found a use for Aether Gust to discard this, huh? We only have 2 cards in our bin currently. This'll put a 3rd, this'll put 4/5. But I guess this counts Uro. And I'll get to Fabled Passage. So, this discard plus this lets me escape Uro next turn, which is great. Sigh. Oh, good. Has he accepted our Lord and Savior Dream Trawler into his heart? That's good to hear. Hats off to the people that did design on Theros. I think Dream Trawler is honestly just the best finisher for control that they've maybe ever printed. It's a very good design in my opinion. Does a good job of being a finisher you want to play, not one you feel obligated to play. Yikes. Aetherling feels so good. Aetherling was a crutch for people who are bad at playing control. Quote me on that. So, 2 things, Game Arcane. First is that I can't automate updating the game wins or losses, so it would be another thing I would have to remember to do while I'm streaming, which would mean it's frequently going to get forgotten. And 2, none of the decks that I play on stream, I play for a long enough time to have statistically relevant sample sizes. So all providing win rates of decks on my overlay would encourage people who don't understand statistics to draw bad conclusions from incomplete sample sizes. And I'd prefer to do the responsible thing and not encourage people to draw bad conclusions from incomplete data I'm providing. So, can you expand on the thoughts on Aetherling? Yeah, when Aetherling existed, it basically only existed, Aetherling existed at a time of the, what's it called? The vials, the Elixir was the name. And the optimal way to build control decks in that format was to just win by decking them or win with Mutavault. Aetherling was a card that people who couldn't play quickly to win in the optimal way played. Aetherling was a card that was it didn't actually help you win games that you weren't winning anyways. The only thing it did was it helped you beat the round timer that you were maybe too slow to beat on your own. So the solution wasn't play Aetherling. The correct solution was play faster. So it's like Second Son and the Big Tef deck. Yeah, very, very similar. It was a very miserable deck. I remember playing Standard then. I would frequently when I was losing to blue-white game 1, when I was playing aggro or mid-range, I would never concede the match. I would never concede game 1 until the clock was under 35 minutes or so, or 30 minutes, because I knew I could win 2 games in 30 minutes, but they couldn't. And that's not stalling. I played at a reasonable rate. Their deck just spent so much time in garbage time that you could sit there and run the clock while playing at a reasonable rate. I mean, I'd rather just have you ask about how a deck fared and then just have a discussion about it, because the record, again, doesn't tell you how a deck fared. Like, we've played decks that have been undefeated that weren't worth looking at more, and we've played decks that haven't won a match but are definitely worth exploring further. And as always, if you come in, after stream at the end of the day, if you're wondering what was the best of the best, I always upload everything to YouTube, and on my website, there is a playlist of all the decks I liked for a particular day. You can find that right there on the videos favorite tab. I think we're about dead here. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the next one. Speaking of garbage time, the opponent's deck actually has Archon here to kill us pretty quickly. Put Return to Nature's in, cut these Aether Gusts, cut a Bonecrusher. You can also, too, if you're wondering, if you don't want to watch an entire YouTube video when something's posted after the fact, always do that wrap-up segment at the end. So I know a number of people, they tell me they jumped the wrap-up segment to hear me say, hey, this was good or bad. And if I say it was good, then they go back and watch the actual video. Yeah, the mono blue deck had a 3-0 run at one point. We lost the first 2, but then went 3-0, so like... That's a good observation. Twin says their favorite thing is to look at the wrap-up segment for decks I've played multiple times to see how your opinion changes as you play it more. It's a really neat thought. The organization with the playlists on my website for decks probably makes that easy to do. You can click through multiple videos pretty cleanly. I'm gonna do one more deck today. I think I'm not gonna get to Red-Black Knights, but planning to go till 5 o'clock today. I've actually only been live for about 7 hours. I had to start late because I had an appointment this morning. It's okay, Ironclad. The key to understand about making things that people love is that many other people will hate the things that some folks love for the same reasons that other people love it. You're much better off creating something that some people love and some people hate than creating something that's just a 6 out of 10 that everybody just kind of like, eh. I'm gonna be off this deck. I'm done getting our set. Yeah, so overall, the power level on this deck felt pretty middling. I felt like this build had a lot of the same issues that the straight blue-red build had last season when we worked on it. Which is, in part, is related to Narset. So, like, for example, I think I have the Jeskai build in here still. Or did I delete it? It's up on the website. I'm going to take it out of my deck editor. The Jeskai Alliance build that's up on my website gains Banishing Light and even Elspeth Conquers Death as ways to answer problem cards that pop up. The Jeskai build also gets to play Dream Trawler, which is a little bit easier to enable. While Uro's an incredibly powerful card, like having to escape things consistently feels tough. So I definitely think the Jeskai Alliance build is super competitive, but this Temur build, I really didn't feel like we gained power level from the green splash. Like, what the green cards were doing was kind of awkward overall and didn't really help specifically address problems that we had. Like, the white cards give us answers to problem permanence. The green cards don't really do that outside of like this, which is a more narrow application. All right, we are going to wrap things up by getting a little smorky today. I'm going to hit a quick ad roll while I get my client restarted and get everything switched over. But then I can only assume we're going to play 6 or 7 red aggro mirrors and be the bad guy here. So back in a few. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Don't go anywhere.